Del. If I say it, you keep saying. Now this one is like a marching sound. It says, now take the tip and upper part of that thing. Only one lady in the class. You call tongue. Now take the tip and upper part of that thing you call tongue. Now show me. This is the tip. Okay, now take the tip. And the upper part is this part of the tongue. Everybody see me? It's the fawqiyah, the overhand part of the tongue. Okay, not the underhand part of the tongue. The tip and the over part. You understand that? Now take the tip and upper part of that thing you call tongue. Okay? What he's doing now is describing to you in detail exactly how to pronounce the letter del. Everybody say del. Del. Aren't you, all of a sudden you're using the tip and upper part of your tongue, right? Everybody say del. Del. Say de. Del. Okay, now he's going to complete it. And press it. Louder, please. And press it on your two buck teeth. No offense. Your two buck teeth. Where are your two buck teeth? Your two front teeth. Okay? And press it. Press the tip and upper part of that thing you call tongue, and press it on your two buck teeth, and place it on your gums. And place it on your gums. Let me explain something to you. Why does it say place it on the gums and press it on your two buck teeth? Look here. This is not a medical class, but in dealing with pronunciation of the letters, you have to know certain things. Certain things have to become clear. Here go so-and-so's two buck teeth. Okay? Here goes so-and-so's gums. Okay? In between there's an area where there's teeth and there's gum. Right meaning, right? And click your fingers. Okay? You take the tip and upper part, and when you press the tip, it's going to incline towards the upper part if you want it to, or it can incline on the under part if you want it to. So by his statement, tip and upper part, it wants the upper part to incline on the place where the gums are exactly meeting. You with me? Are you with me? Yes or no? You place it here in this area. Say id. Id. And hit that spot. Say id. Id. It's a punch. Id. Id. You hear that? That's the placement of the sound del. It's right there. If you hit the whole gums, that's incorrect. If you hit the teeth, just the teeth, that's ta. Say it. You hear? If you hit where the teeth is at, it's a different sound. Now hit with the gun. Say id. Del. Are we together? Okay. So there should be no confusion about the exact place to pronounce this letter. And if you forget, then just memorize the poem. Now take the tip and upper part of that thing you call tongue and press it on your two buck teeth and place it on your gums. At jahrun with the shidda, some fathun istifal, at qalqala, something and then qalqala at 4, and we have dal. Let's go here and say here. At jahrun, please, at jahrun, with the shidda, some fathun, istifal, please louder, samtun, and then qalqala, add 4, and we have dal. There's a point to be made here. Just like in Jim, the dal or any letter is not complete with just knowing the makhraj or just knowing the sifat. You do not complete the pronunciation properly of any letter without two things: knowing the sifat and knowing the exact place to place your tongue or how to articulate that sound. Somebody smell barbecue or something burning? Oh, it's yours barbecue? I'm just making sure that it's barbecue and not masjid, you know? Excuse me?
Is that some or same?
Here?
Yeah.
At some. No, this is samtun. Right here. At-jahlun with the shidda, some fathun istifal, okay? Samtun and then qalqala. These are terminologies. I guess what you're learning here from each letter, there are certain terminologies that are being constantly used. Jahrun. By the fourth letter, you should have heard jahrun a few times. Jahrun is audibility. When we get to the study of tajweed, you hear this term jahrun. When you study tajweed with the shuyukh and they start teaching you how to recite Quran, you're going to hear these terms over and over again. Here you began to become familiar with them. And over there you become an expert at it. Jahrun is to say something loud. Shidda is what? Strength. Okay? You say it with strength. Fathun, we know what fathun is. What is fathun? It's that opening like a doorway, right? So opening that mouth like I say, del. You have to smile and say it. Say del. Then you say samtun. Samtun is that restraint. Okay, samt. You hold it, because you don't say id. You say id. And you hold the air in your mouth, in your nose. I'm sorry, say id. And you should be holding it in your nose. So you cannot breathe. This sound, samtun, it means you can't breathe while you're saying the letter. Okay? And then qalqala. Qalqala, we went over this before. What is qalqala? It's a resounding sound. It's a beat. Id. If you want to practice this letter, you read Suratul Qul Huwallahu Ahad. Allahu As-Samad. You hear the ending? Lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. You hear the del is resounding over and over again. So whenever they teach this letter and they want to teach how to pronounce it properly, the qalqala sound for del, they make you recite that surah over and over again. Paying close attention to the end sound, the del. Everybody figure that out? Okay, samtun and then qalqala, add 4. What does he mean here when he says add 4? And we have del. What does that mean? It's the numeric. Every letter has what? Every letter has a numeric value. What's the numeric value for ba? Ithnan, right? We know that much. What's the numeric value for jim?
3.
The quantitative measure for the ikhfa in the jim is that it's, what is it? Equal to a 1 that's just been multiplied by 3. So then the del, he lets you know that the numeric value for del is 4. Okay? And you use this when you get inside making outlines and reading some of the books of the scholars, and you'll see, okay, they'll put a point number, the first point they'll put here, and then the next thing you'll see the ba, the next point will be jim, next point will be del, and the next point will be ha, and they'll go down the line. You say, well, what are these letters doing when he's putting his points here, here? He's following this outline of abjadiyya. Okay? And numerate. And sometimes when you see the end of this work was finished twice ghain and zay. Twice ghain and zay is 2007. Okay? Because ghain is 1,000. Okay? So, learn that. Let me erase this right here. Samtun and then qalqala at 4, and we have dal. Then it goes on to say it's not over yet. Can I erase this? Could you erase this for me, please? And then it says, but when reciting Al-Quran, a rule you must adhere. When the dal comes after an, ikhfa'u must be there. What does he say? But when reciting Al-Quran, what is he talking about now? But he's talking about the science of what? Tajweed. Understand, we're dropping everything down to its proper science. Because in learning the alphabet, we learn that the alphabet is used in different formats for different reasons. Thank you very much. So he says now, we've described to you how to pronounce del. Everybody say id. What are you doing? You're taking a tip in the upper part of that thing you call tongue, and you're placing it on your two buck teeth, and you're pressing on your two buck teeth, and you're placing it on your gums, right? And then you're using those sifat, strength, opening up your mouth, restraining it through your nose, and pronouncing the letter dal. However, when you're reciting Quran, and in the Quran, the rules of tajweed surround what letter? Noon as-sakina or tanween. Dammatan, what is it? Kasratan or? Open up your mouths, guys, you know this, right? So that's the rules of tajweed surround that noon as-sakina or tanween. And when that's the case, what does it mean by that? He explains it here in a subtle format. Wa alaykum as-salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. He explains that to you here by telling you what about that noon as-sakin. He says, when the del comes after n, when the del is coming and then there's a noon there, then what you need to know is that this is going to be pronounced with ikhfa, meaning the noon is going to be pronounced with ikhfa. Okay? That letter, not the dal, the noon is going to, and then you'll learn that in tajweed, what that means. Okay? What we're going to do here is write it down. But when, recite please, reciting Al-Quran, a rule you must adhere. The implied speech is adhere to. Okay? When the del comes after n. What does he mean here about his n? This is the n sound. Whether it's n, in, or un. Okay? Or whether it's noon. Just like that. Meaning, in, an, or un, whatever that sound comes. You with me, everybody? Whenever you hear that sound, when the del comes after that sound, ikhfa'u must be there. Ikhfa'u must be there. Okay, and then they said you must hear. Ikhfa'u, you must hear. Or ikhfa'u must be there. And ikhfa'u is a tajweed rule. Okay? We're not learning tajweed right now, so we're not going to get into this explaining what ikhfa is in detail. Okay? Is that all right? You guys are a little sick? No, just reserved today. Okay. When you finish writing this on the board, let me know. Is it understandable, though? Is everything understandable? You guys really have to try to do your best to review this at home and utilize it, because it's a simple thing to pronounce the letters. It just takes a minute, and you learn where the makhraj is, and you get to practice that. But practicing it makes perfect. I mean, not but. And practicing it makes perfect. However, if you're ever in doubt in knowing what are the set rules for these letters, then you just come back to your text and review it. Okay, and in it you'll find all the things that you need to find for the utilization of that letter, or in other things that you may need. So don't gaff this off. Don't waste time now not learning this so that it won't be perfect. It becomes part and parcel of you now. You will be amazed at how much it'll help you in other sciences, where you don't have to go back to look for the text to find what it means. It's in there. You already know. Do you understand that? So some people, I remember being in Egypt, in a place called Kafr al-Sheikh. Kafr al-Sheikh is a real far from the cities. And there was a sheikh there who studied in Maghrib, and he learned the Abjad, Hawaz, Huttiya, Kaliman. He had done that type of thing. And he was trying to teach it to all his students. And there was a few people, like myself, who had been in Maghrib. And we had learned this also. Actually, Sheikh Muqbil rahimahullah, he wrote a book on this, and I use that in doing the research for these classes, because he speaks about how this has dropped from the study curriculum of the modern day Talibul Ilm. Okay? And in the room, he couldn't find anybody except the people that had studied in Maghrib that knew this. And so they had to go and try something that takes 5 seconds for somebody. They had to go and find a book from the shelf to go find out and learn about different things like that. Whereas other people who had memorized it in ibtida'iyya, in their beginning levels, you know, they were able to just take and start writing. Okay? So there's this time. Don't waste your time. You know, benefit as much as you can. Does that make sense? All right. So, ikhfa is a tajweed rule that we use when we get there to study of tajweed. And this is everything I have to offer about the letter Dal. Do I have any questions about Dal? No questions about Dal? Okay, then we're going to move on to the second part of this lesson, which is, could you erase the board for me, please? Here. Oh, you got that. Here. The second part of this lesson is dealing with that text that we know as Al-Ajrumiyyah. Everybody say Al-Ajrumiyyah. Al-Ajrumiyyah is the scientific breakdown of the Arabic language through its grammar. Okay? Through its grammar. And it's a nice, easy text. Take that off too, the Alif Ba Jim. It's a very easy text. It is very detailed. So we just do a little by little. Every day we do a line so that we can get through it eventually. And again, it's one of those types of texts, if you pay attention to it and you master its little parts, it'll help you do anything you need to do later on in your sciences, in any one of your sciences, in reading Quran and talking Arabic and studying usul al-fiqh or any one of the great sciences, usul al-hadith or actual hadith, you'll use this text. Okay? It says, فَالِاسْمُ بِالْخَفْضِ وَبِالتَّنْوِينِ أَوْ دُخُولِ أَلْ يُعْرَفُ فَقْفُ مَا قَفَاوْ. فَالِاسْمُ بِالْخَفْضِ. Everybody say بِالْخَفْضِ. وَبِالتَّنْوِينِ. وَبِالتَّنْوِينِ أَوْ دُخُولِ الْأَلْ يُعْرَفُ فقف ما قفاو. And this was where we did last week, right? We start with, first the text starts, who can recite the text from the beginning? Inna al-kalama, go ahead. Recite it together, ladies. Inna al-kalama. أقسامه التي عليها يبنى اسم وفعل ثم حرف معنى فالاسم بالخفض وبالتنوين أو دخول ال يعرف فقف ما. Again, let's do it again. إن الكلام, recite it with me, I'll help you. إن الكلام عندنا فلتستمع لفظ مركب مفيد قد أقسامه التي عليها يبنى اسم وفعل ثم حرف فالاسم بالخفض وبالتنوين أو دخول ال يعرف فقف ما. Okay, do it one more time. إن الكلام عندنا فلتستمع. Stop. إن الكلام, what does that mean? The speech. The fact of the matter is the speech. إن الكلام عندنا. According to who? Scholars of عندنا. According to us, the scholars of grammar. فلتستمع. What does that mean? So listen up. If you want to know what speech is or kalam is, according to the speeches, the scholars of grammar, then listen up. إن الكلام عندنا فلتستمع. What is it? لفظ مركب مفيد قد وضع. What is لفظ?
Lafdun is a sound you spit off your tongue.
Lafdun is a sound that you spit off your tongue. Jazakumullah khair. Murakkabun. What is murakkabun?
Writing something.
It's to write something. So it's what? 2 sounds or more. Right, 2 sounds or more, right? Lafdun murakkabun mufidun. What does mufidun mean? Beneficial. But what does it mean in this context?
A statement which the listener understands.
Statement, haythu, from the standpoint that the listener is not waiting to hear more to understand the objective of the speaker, to understand what he was talking about, right? So if I say, if Alameen comes, is that speech? No. Why not? Is it beneficial? No. Because even though I said some words that are lafdun murakkabun, it's not mufid, there's no benefit. The listener is still waiting for more to understand what his objective is. If Alameen comes, he'll eat with me. Now, that's beneficial, right? We clarified the issue, right? إن الكلام عندنا فلتستمع لفظ مركب مفيد قد وضع. What does قد وضع mean?
God is already intending.
It's intended. It has a qasd, an object. That means it wasn't sleeping, right? Somebody, he had a presence of mind when he made that statement. And he didn't say it unmindfully like someone who's sleeping or drunk or in the throes of death or some sickness. What does it also mean?
And according with the rules of grammar.
According to the rules of Arabic grammar, it also means that it is a question. So can we do it in Berber? No. Can we do it in Spanish? No. Can we do it in English? No. It has to be what? Arabic. That is speech according to who? According to the scholars of grammar. Okay? إن الكلام عندنا فلتستمع لفظ مركب مفيد قد أقسامه التي عليها يبنى. Its parts that it is built upon. What are the parts that it's built upon? Speech is built on what? اسم وفعل ثم حرف المعنى. What is an ismun? No, there's no ums. What is it? It's a supernoun, right? Why is it a supernoun in English?
Noun plus adjective.
It's a person, place, thing, and adjective, a description. Say it with description, because most people don't know what an adjective is. If someone stopped me like 10 years ago and said, yo, what's an adjective? I'd have said, yo, I don't know. I want to know what they were talking about. Adjective. Go to school. That's what I would say. But I know an adjective now is, what is an adjective? A description word. Like big, small, pretty, ugly. You know? These are description words. In Arabic, these are considered parts of an ismun. But in Arabic, an ismun is a kalimatun dallat ala ma'na fi nafsiha wa lam taqtaran bizzaman. A word that points to a meaning. What is it? In and of itself. Right? Like, give me a word that points to a meaning in and of itself.
Islam.
Islam. And it's not pointing to a what?
Not connected with time frame.
It's not connected to a time frame. So Islam. Give me another word that has a meaning in and of itself and it's not connected to a time frame. New York, New York. Big city of dreams. Give me another one.
Hand.
Hand. Brother. These are all words that point to a meaning in and of themselves. When we say in and of themselves, what do we mean by that? We don't need another word to understand what that word is talking about. So that word has its own, it's independent, it's free of any other necessitating language to describe itself. Right? Like we say hair. Right? Or we say hin, ta'ali huna. We say something like that. So now, the next one is ismun wa fi'lun. What is a fi'lun?
Action word.
Action word. In English we call it what?
Verb.
A verb. So a fi'lun corresponds directly with the English verb. And a verb is an action word. Right? Or we say in Arabic, kalimatun dallat ala ma'na fi nafsiha wa qad iqtaranat bizzaman. A word that has a meaning what? In and of itself, and it is connected to one of the time frames. What are the time frames? What are they? What? What's that? Present, future,
Past.
past, immediate. Or in Arabic, we would say this would be, the immediate would be an order. That's the only thing we need to clarify. When we say immediate, we say an amr. It's an order. No, اجلس مع الرجال. هن تعالي هنا اجلس مع النساء. تعالي. اجلسي هناك. اذهبي خارج واخلعهن عليك. ساعديها خويلة. أين أيوب? Okay. So, the immediate time frame is an order. Okay? Why is an order tied to an immediate time frame? Because what?
It's happening now? It's happening right now?
No. Somebody else give me an answer. When you tell somebody, do such and such and so, what is expected? It's an order demands immediacy. This is usul fiqh now. Understand, see, learning this rule right here is going to help you when you start to understand wa aqimus salah. Establish the salah, an order that comes in the Quran. You start to understand things. When the Prophet said, do such and so, if it's not tied with a condition, if an order is not tied with a condition, idhab wa sallim alayhi. If an order is not tied with a condition, I'm going to say it again, you guys have to say this. When an order is not tied with a condition, say that.
When an order is not tied with a condition,
It demands immediacy.
it demands immediacy.
Just like if you told your child, get up and go to bed. And he said, okay. And he stayed there watching boob tube. Would you get upset? Why?
Because it's in the order.
But he said, I'm going to get up and go to bed after this show is over. Chill out. After BCW came to the house, but I don't have BCW anymore. This we used to call it Borough Child Care. Was it BCW? Yeah, welfare. They come in if they beat your child too much. They come and get your child. You know, ACS or something like that. ACS nowadays they changed the language, but they would come because the mother or father would probably kill the child for saying this type of thing. Why? Why? Because an order, when it's not tied to a condition, demands what? Immediacy. If you tell your child, get up, and they don't get up, you say something's wrong here. This is what we call, it's mafhum, it's well understood that an order demands immediacy. So, when we say the immediate time frame, it's tied to what? Orders. Everybody with me with that?
Yes.
Everybody understand that? Yes or no?
Yes.
I'm pulling from you guys today. What's going on? I was going for 1 week. You know, it's like everybody's like, okay, you know, I don't want to do this anymore. Okay? Wake up. So these are the 3 types of time frames that an action word comes in. Give me an example of an action word in the past tense. In English.
Ran.
Ran. He ran. Give me an order in the word ran. Run. And what is the present future tense? Running. So these are all called fi'lun in Arabic, right? A word that has a meaning in and of itself, the act of movement that we know as running, right? The action. And it's connected to these time frames, these 3 time frames. Everybody with me? Then it says, thumma harfu ma'na. Why does it say thumma? Thumma. Thumma means then, but why is thumma there?
All the way in this coming.
Because thumma tadullu ala tarahi. Thumma points to infasal al-waqt. Thumma means that there is a breakdown in space and time. It denotes weakness. For example, if I say, Muhammad and Abdullah came, and then Ali. See that thumma? What does that then mean? That Muhammad and Abdullah, we don't know which one came first or second, but they probably came together, right? They don't have to have come together, but they could have come together. And then Ali is clear that Ali did not come at the same time as Muhammad and Abdullah. Is that clear?
Yes.
Likewise, when it says, ismun wa fi'lun thumma harfu ma'na, it means that the harf is not on the same level as the ismun and the fi'lun. You understand? Why is that? What is a harf? It's the weakest of the three. Right? And what is its definition?
It's a word that points to a meaning.
It's a word that points to a meaning in another word. So it, first of all, the other two are words that point to a meaning in and of themselves, meaning they're independent. They don't need any other words to understand what they're talking about. A foot is a foot. Running is running. You don't need another word to describe what's going on. But a harfun is a word that points to a meaning in some other word. And also it's not connected to a time frame. So give me some words that point to it. So it's not independent. It necessitates other words to understand what it's talking about. Right? Does that make sense? Give me some examples. Thumma. Give me some in English. Is, no, because is from the to be verb. Under. In. On. After. Behind. Around. Before. You got me? These are, and in every language, don't care what language you speak, there are only these three types of words. You hear what I said? In every language, there are only, how many, sister? Three types of words. An ismun, a fi'lun, and a harfu, that's al-ma'na, that has a meaning. Okay? We with that? And this is the basis from which all kalam is built upon. إن الكلام عندنا فلتستمع لفظ مركب مفيد قد وضع أقسامه التي عليها يبنى اسم وفعل ثم حرف فالاسم بالخفض وبالتنوين أو دخول ال يعرف فقف ما قفاه. Now we're back to where we should be right here. To that review, now we're going to say here, erase this. So now after describing all three in a general way, we're going to get to the specifics of each individual one of those three parts. Okay? So now the ismun here is known by a few things. You can recognize the ismun by what? It has khafdi. Everybody say al-khafdi. What is al-khafdi? Al-khafdi, everybody say al-khafdi. It is something low. Okay? What is it?
Something low.
So it means here the kasra. Everybody know what a kasra is? Yes. What is a kasra?
One of the vowels.
One of the vowel sounds that comes under. That means khafdi. It's something low. It means to drag something. Some people call it jar. Okay, meaning yajurru, it drags. Okay, so it comes under. So al-khafdi, it only comes in an ismun. So if you saw a kasra, and where are we talking about now? We're talking about this is happening at the end of the word. Only at the end of the word. What are we saying?
End of the word.
So if we see a word like this, and it has a kasra on it, what do we automatically know? That this is an ismun. Out of the three types of words, we know this is an ismun. For sure. How do we know that? Because at the end of the word, it has a kasra. And kasra only comes at the end of a word when that word is an ismun. Does it come on a fi'lun? No, never, never, never. Okay? So this is what we understand, and that doesn't come on a harfun either. Okay? It's only going to come at the end of a word when that word is an. This is a fact. The whole Arabic language now, you can point out every ismun when you see it has a kasra on the bottom of it. You understand? So, yu'arafu. فَالِاسْمُ بِالْخَفْضِ وَبِالتَّنْوِينِ. What is tanween? Everybody say tanween. Tanween. Tanween is from the word. Look at the word again. Tanween. Ween. Let's break the word down. What do we know about this word? We have an alif and lam there, right? You see that? What does alif lam mean? What does alif and lam mean? Al, the, right? Just like in Spanish, el, the. Now the rest of the word is tanween. We know here that the ya, right, that comes right there, and the ta, that comes right here, these two come together to mean the, what do you call it, it's the noun of a thing. It's the, what is it called, a noun? The idea of something, okay? Whenever you have some type of action and you want to talk about the idea of it, you put a ta and a ya between it. The only thing left is the noon, wow, and a noon. What word do we have here? Noon. Everybody say noon. Or nawana, which is to make the noon sound. Everybody say un. So the idea of making the noon sound, the n sound, is called what? Tanween. Just like if we have this word, ilm, say ilm. And we want to talk about the idea of ilm, we call it a ta'lim. You understand it? We put the ta there and we put the ya there, and the word still ilm is in between that. When we want to talk about wahadallah, we're talking about Allah making Allah one, isolating Allah, we call it tawheed, right? We put the ta there and the ya there, and we still have wahid as the idea. You understand? So we understand this format. The format here, it denotes an idea. And if we look at it, we can see the idea is the noon sound. What is the idea? Just like if we study ilm, we call it ta'aleem. That's the idea of studying knowledge. When we deal about isolating or making something one, singling something out, we call it tawheed, right? We put the ta there and the ya there, and we still have wahid as the idea. You understand? So we understand this format. The format here, it denotes an idea. And if we look at it, we can see the idea is the noon sound. What is the idea? Just like if we study ilm, we call it ta'aleem. That's the idea of studying knowledge. When we deal about isolating or making something one, singling something out, we call it tawheed. You understand that? So, tanween is the sound, noon, as it comes at the end of a word. Say an, un, in. And it is a fathatan, a kasratan, or a dammatan. Do you see that? Say an, in, un. And it only comes at the end of an ismun. It never comes on a fi'lun. It never comes on a harf. It only comes on a... Do you understand that? Is that understandable? So whenever you see tanween, what do you know about that word? That it is an ismun. So if we see this, what do we know about that word? It's an ismun. Even though fi'lun means action, it's not an action. It's an ismun, denoting an action. Okay? So, فَالِاسْمُ بِالْخَفْتِ, say it with me. فَالِاسْمُ بِالْخَفْتِ وَبِالتَّنْوِينِ or. See, or here is or. Okay? Say ow. Ow means or. Say it.
Ow means or.
Again?
Ow means or.
What does it say?
Ow means or.
Okay, so now ow dukhuli al. Say that. Al. What does al mean? The. So let's go back. Either it's going to have tanween or it's going to have al. It won't have both. So it'll say al fi'l, but it won't say al fi'lun. You understand this? This will never be. Why? Because it says here, either tanween or, either tanween or, either tanween or, never, 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 ever, ever. It'll be, what does al mean?
Al means da.
Tanween denotes an or a. You know, in English, we put an or a before the word, right? A chair, an apple. It's an when it's before a vowel. Everybody say A-E-I-O-U. A-E-I-O-U. Whenever you have a vowel, A-E-I-O-U, beginning a word, you say an apple, an egg, an opera, right? A-E-I-O-U. An umbrella, okay? A-E-I, an igloo. That's all an. If it's anything else, you say a piece of bread, a bag, a leg, a whatever you want to say. In Arabic, it's very easy. It doesn't come at the beginning of the word, it comes at the end of the word. It comes at the end of the word, the tanween. And it means what? A or an. So if we say, give me a word, somebody say a word. Somebody say a word. Any ismun in English?
Teeth.
Teeth. He said teeth. So we would say sin in Arabic. Okay? Sinnun. You say a tooth. If you say the teeth, you say as-sin. As-sinu. As-sinu. Okay? Meaning the teeth. Does that make sense? Yes. Or if you say sinun, sinnun, you're talking about teeth. The teeth. Asnan. Okay? If you say sinun, you're talking about a tooth. Sakata sinnun. A tooth fell. You understand that? But if you say al-asnan or sinnu, the teeth, the tooth, not the teeth, the tooth, the tooth. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay, so you don't put them both in there. What's the time I'm working with? Okay, still got time? Okay, so dukhul al yu'rafu, and they call this the al yu'raf, meaning the definitive al. It makes you recognize what you're talking about. If we talk about the chair, it has to be a chair that we already referred to. You know, so that's why I said faqfu makafau. And faqfu makafau here just means follow the path of the people that went before you in learning this science. Take your time. Learn it slow, piece by piece. It's very easy. But it's only easy if you study the lesson that you're on and you don't jump ahead and you don't fall behind. And then you encompass everything that it has to offer in each individual lesson. So then when you go to the next lesson, while I'm asking you all these questions, because if you don't know it, then there's no benefit in going forward. Does that make sense? Because the rule here is قَلِيلٌ قَرَّ خَيْرٌ مِّن كَثِيرٍ فَرَّ. A little bit firm and established in our minds is better than a lot that goes away like a Ferrari, that runs and leaves ahead real quickly. So if you have this written down, قَلِيلٌ قَرَّ خَيْرٌ مِّن كَثِيرٌ فَرَّ. Well, a little bit made strong is better than a lot that just wasteful, does no benefit, just goes away. Does that make sense, everybody? So establish it. Otherwise, you're doing it for Riyah. Why are you doing it? Why are you studying something that you're not ready for? Show off? To say that you did it? Or if you're really trying to benefit from it, learn it. And like I said earlier, I was listening to one of the tapes, we were saying recite this line how many times? The meaning 100 times. How many times do you recite the text though? 500 times. And we said that's not hard. 10 minutes a day. 10 minutes a day, you will have it more than 500 times. Recite the meanings and what you understand from it. How many times? 100 times. Take you 10 minutes. 10 minutes and you knock it out. If you can't put 10 minutes a day towards the review and study of this science, you're wasting your time. You're wasting, because we've got it spread out real easy. And I know, like you said, you got other things you have to do, but this, if you consider it important, knock it out. Okay? أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم والسلام عليكم. Do you have any questions at this time? Alhamdulillah. Do you have any questions?